Good afternoon, everybody. And This is Sports Freak from the D. And welcome to Let's Talk Real Ball. Well, this past weekend was a fantastic weekend for college football. Major upsets. And it was the weekend where you didn't want to be in the top 10. Because after Saturday, you were not going to be in the top 10. But anyway, it was just fantastic football. A few upsets, few big upsets, and there were a few disappointments. Okay, and one that did not disappoint me this week. Hey, my school didn't play, my school didn't lose. But anyway, let's start from the top. Big weekend for the Southeastern Conference and for the Big Ten. And let's start with some of the upsets. LSU got right back in the picture after the loss to Florida by getting that big victory over University of Georgia. That was an upset, and that was a little bit of a surprise. However, Georgia still controls their future. They're going to go to Jacksonville next and play the Gators. Now, that's supposed to be a neutral field, but I've already explained before how I feel about that neutral field. Hello, Jacksonville's like right down the street from Gainesville. So, I call it the way it is, and that's kind of Gator territory. And speaking of the Gators, I said it about a few weeks ago. They're much, much improved, and they're getting better and better every weekend. Defensively, they're as tough as they come. They're as tough as they've ever been. Okay? Offensively, they're doing enough to get the victory, and that makes them extremely, extremely dangerous. Okay? Vandy kind of hung around for a while and gave the Gators a little bit of a tough time in the first quarter and a half. But after a while, they kind of started imposing their will, and they took off, like the Gators should. Vandy did a good show. They are a good team, but the Gators show that they're deeper and much, much better coached. I gotta give it to Mr. Mullen. Mr. Mullen has come in there, and he's really changed the way the Gators see themselves and the way the fans see the Gators. Okay. Now, they have a good weekend coming up. They're going to face Georgia after a tough loss to LSU, but they are playing in their home court, which is the Jacksonville Stadium. Now, the other big surprise, the one that really, really shocked me, Tennessee over Auburn. Now, Tennessee is an up-and-coming team, but they're nowhere near there yet. I mean, they had lost, I think it was 11 straight Southeastern Conference games. And now they pretty well knocked out Auburn completely out. With their win, wow, it was the first win in 11 losses. So Auburn was the second straight loss after last week's loss to Mississippi State. Now they got to go face Georgia in a couple of weeks and then Alabama. Auburn is in a little bit of a problem. I don't think they can come back from these losses. Now, the other upset, the major upset, which surprised me like crazy, was Iowa State over West Virginia. Now, Iowa State, even though their record is not good, is really not a bad team. They have played some tough teams, and they have played them tough. So it was only a matter of time before they really had an upset. But West Virginia, with Will Grier, he was for the Heisman Trophy. He was in the running for the Heisman Trophy. Even though he didn't look that bad, he did not endear himself to those Heisman voters, okay? You got to win these kinds of games for you to keep going with the Heisman race. Right now, I think he's looking outside in, but he's still in the race. Now, the ACC took a little bit of a hit with Notre Dame. Notre Dame did what they had to do, which is win the game, and they did. They won the game. But squeaking by Pitt, that doesn't bode well, especially when you were at home. Pitt always gives people problems, but that's somebody that gives you problems for half, and then you kind of blow them away. They didn't. They had to come back in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game to win that game. Now, the other one that was a really big surprise to me was the University of Miami and the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes for the last few years say, "Oh, we're back. Oh, we're back." No, you're not, okay? I lived through those Miami teams. And those Miami teams, once they had you in a chokehold, they broke your neck. Losing to Virginia, You're not back, okay? You can't keep going up and down like you have been in the last few years, where you're up there in the top 10, and all of a sudden you lose two or three in a row to teams that you should be beating. And Virginia, that's a team that you should have beaten and beaten bad, and you didn't. So good luck to you, by the way. Because remember, FSU beat you up and down the field for three quarters. Okay, you had to come back and get a few lucky breaks. Now the other one that had a big weekend was the Big Ten. Wow, fantastic! There were a few upsets, a few points proven, and a few points that are still out there to be decided. One of those was OSU. Ohio State did what they had to do. They took a victory in Minnesota. That's all you want to do. You want to go to Minnesota. Minnesota's a tough team to play at home. You went out there. You won. Boom, get out. Goodbye. Now, MSU, Michigan State, they came back from that tough loss to Northwestern, which I said earlier, Northwestern is a lot better than people think. They took that tough loss against Northwestern, and they turned into a big victory against Penn State. Penn State has now lost 2 in a row. Hey, Penn State, bye-bye. Well, anyway, for some reason, Penn State has a knack of struggling against the top teams. If they want to get through to the Big Ten, they got to beat the Ohio States, and they got to beat the Michigan States. They got to beat the Michigans, which leads me to Michigan. Michigan, everybody's favorite darling here in the state of Michigan, by the way. People have accused me of hating Michigan, but I don't. I don't hate him. I just recognize the fact that they have become prevalent or relevant in college football in the last 2 years. But they still haven't accomplished some of the points that they need to accomplish to completely be in the same league as the Ohio States of the world. And there's 3 points that I emphasize that they had to do. One was beat a top-ranked team. They haven't beaten a top-ranked team in about 200 years, okay? Well, they finally did. They beat Wisconsin. They beat them pretty handily, okay? I mean, I tell you, they beat them by 25. They pulled away, and they pulled away fast, okay? That's one of the 3 points that they need to make. 2, they need to beat their interstate rival, Michigan State, which they're going to face this weekend, okay? They're going to go to East Lansing, where Michigan State's pretty good at home. But anyway, I think personally that they should win that game. And then they have to accomplish point number 3, which is beat your arch rival Ohio State. Okay? You haven't beaten Ohio State in who knows how long. I think it's, 8 or 9 years now. So it's time to get over that hurdle. Once you get over those 3 points, don't worry about the playoff picture, baby. You're going to be in it. Okay? You're going to be in it because that means you're going to be the Big Ten champion. Once you're the Big Ten champion and overcoming all those teams that you beat, you don't have to talk loud. You don't have to stand on top of the mountain and scream, "We're number one." Believe me, you have proven it on the field, and let your games talk. Which leads me back to another factor. Shane Patterson. Have you noticed that he struggled at the beginning, and so did Michigan, but he's getting better every week? The mistakes are less and less. More has been put on his shoulders, and he's come through. I'm not saying he's a game manager because I don't think he is. I think he's more than that. However, he's not making mistakes. He's not turning that ball over in key situations. And he's getting you to the point where you're not about to lose the game. He's keeping you out of trouble. And your defense, well, let me tell you, you've had a defense in the last few years, the last 3 or 4 years, that should be winning national championships. I think this year you're getting the offense and the defense almost in the same page. The offense is still a little bit behind the defense, but that's because your defense is so good. So keep going, keep doing what you're doing. You're absolutely looking great, okay? Now, the top ranked number 6 right now, okay. You're ranked number 6, but let me tell you, you're ranked number 6 because all those people lost ahead of you, okay? But you win this week, and then you beat Ohio State, and you don't have to worry about it. You'll be in the top 4. Now, he, like I was saying before, Patterson has become a steady leader. He not mistake prone. If you look at, he's taking the whole of that offense and put it on his shoulder. First of all, he's gotten much better play out of his offensive line. The running backs are coming through, and it looks like a fantastic way that he's developing. We're watching it right in front of our eyes. So Michigan, I'm pulling for you. Go get him. If you're going to be in the picture, got to be Michigan State, though. So go get him. Anyway, that's for college football. Now let's talk about baseball and the playoffs. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Too bad my Yankees lost, but I did say that Boston was the better team, okay? And they proved it. They really did. I think it was Game 3 where they just completely beat the Yankees up and down. Game 3 or 4. I think they scored like 8, 9, 10, 11 runs and 16, 17 base hits, which is the main difference between the Yankees and the Bo Sox. The Yankees only win one way, and that's by bopping you to death. Okay? If they're going to score 8, 9 runs, it's because they hit 4 or 5 home runs. The Yankees cannot string 4 or 5 base hits together. It's not in their nature. It's not in the DNA. So that's why they get into trouble. You get a good pitching staff that keeps them under control, keeps the ball in the park, and there's a good chance you're going to be winning the game. Now, as we saw, Boston can put in a long innings together. However, they're facing a pitching staff in Houston that's pretty darn good. They're not going to allow you to put a lot of innings together. However, you have the pitching staff also to keep everything in control. And right now, it's 2-1. It's a great series. No, it's 2-2. It's a great series. And tonight it's going to be Porcello against Morton. Now, here you go. We're talking about maybe the third or fourth starter for each club. And Porcello has got a 17-7 record. And Morton's got a 15-3 record. For being the third or fourth starter, hey, I'll take those records. Absolutely fantastic. That's how deep those two pitching staffs are. However, the only thing I see a little bit advantage to Houston is that Morton's got a 3.13 ERA, with Porcello being 4.28. Morton has not pitched in the playoffs yet. This is his debut. He did pitch against Boston last year. I believe he surrendered 2 runs in a little bit over 4.5 innings. And Houston won that game, but that was the only time they faced each other. Now, the other series, L.A. and Milwaukee. Holy cow, what a series, huh? Fantastic all the way around. Well, tonight you got a great, fantastic matchup. You got Wade Miley against Kershaw. Okay? Let me tell you about this series so far. They played 3 games. Okay? 3 games. All the games have been decided by close scores. Okay? Boy, let me tell you, this one should be the same. Should be absolutely the same. If you like pitching, good defense, and clutch hitting, this is a series to watch. Okay? Now, if you like bopping good, both series. I'll be honest with you, both series are just outstanding. I can't wait to see them. And I would like to hear more from you guys. So please leave your comments, whether you agree with me or not. Until then, gentlemen, enjoy this week of college football and the baseball, because World Series is next week. And good luck, and talk to you later. And thank you. Thank you for listening.